Buenas noches, amigos del Callejón. Buenos días, amigos de la internet. Buenas tardes, amigos de la deep web. Estamos aquí desde León, Guanajuato, en el Callejón, con una super bandota llamada Dirty Sound Magnet. Cheers for you guys. Yeah. How are you tonight, guys? Welcome to Mexico. Welcome to our city, León, Guanajuato. How are you today, guys?
We are very good. We've been here for at least 1 week. So we like the country very much. We've been to Mexico City already for a few days, and we were to Monterrey, Guadalajara, and the people were very nice to us. It was really beautiful, the few days we spent here, so we are feeling very well.
You're feeling very well. That's nice, guys. So tell me, last year you were visiting Mexico. What makes you came here again and play your music for us?
All the love we received from the Mexican people was amazing the first time. I mean, we came for the first time for a reason. It was one of the countries that was on the top 3 on Spotify. So we thought, we have to go there and to meet our fans and play music for them. But we were not expecting such a good audience, like people really feeling emotions when we play. And people knowing our lyrics, knowing our songs. So that's why we came back, because we want to reconnect with this great audience, the great Mexican people, meet our friend again as well. We have many friends since last time. And I think we will come back every year from now on, yes.
That's good, and we are very happy to have you here, guys. So tell us, Maxim, the drummer of the band, tell us, do you love Mexican food?
Tacos, sí. Yeah, I was just a few minutes later, I spoke with the people, and they told me about how Mexican food, how is the typical Mexican food from Leon, and I will try. But it's funny because it's always the same. Food for Mexican is really important, something really important, and I feel that, yeah, it's great and great food. We love spicy more than the Mexican, but yeah, almost more.
And so, guys, how's your stomach right now? Eating a lot of spicy stuff.
Mine is in perfect condition. Mine is ready to go on stage, ready to go for another spicy meal. I'm in top form. Stomach is very happy. It's smiling at you. Can you see it?
That's good. What about you, Marco?
It's not happy, mine. Today is not happy. No, but it's like that. I ate maybe too much chilaquiles, which are my favorite. It's my favorite food in Mexico. Yeah, yes.
Maybe it was because you were crudo with hangover. Maybe.
Yeah, we drank a lot of tequila the past few days, so maybe it doesn't help, for the digestion, right? Yes, yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good, guys. So let's talk about the band's trajectory, guys. How's Dirty Sound managed evolved from its beginnings to the present days? How's your evolution as a band?
All right. So now we started playing like we were teenagers, so we know each other for 20 years. We were really young when we started playing, and we rehearsed a lot, like every day for 10 years, and we tried to play a lot of shows, which was very difficult because when you are from Switzerland, you are not neither UK, neither US, neither Australia, so it's harder to build a career. So in a way, it's a challenge, but I take it as it gave us rewards, because then we worked harder, and then we could develop our genre. And in 2016, we released our first album, and we started touring. And ever since, we've been doing it professionally and touring more and more and more. And now we've played 700 shows. And the last few months, years, I would say since a year and a half, the band's been doing like this. So it's really nice, after all this investment, all this energy put in the music, with always belief, faith, we can now enjoy the music with the crowd, and people know us actually all around the world. So I think we can be satisfied, and we are looking forward to the next 20 years.
Okay, you told me that you started 2016, right? When 2020 in pandemic's era, how was your rehearsals? Did you have gigs, or what happened with There Is Unmanaged the pandemic situation?
So during the pandemic times, at the beginning we were like sure that it will not last for a long time. So we still tried to book tours and try to find solution. The first thing we did, we had a UK tour planned, like in March or April 2020. So very at the beginning, the beginning of the pandemic, and we wanted to record all the shows and to do like a live album from this UK tour. And then the pandemic arrived. It was not possible to do the tour, so it was not possible to do the live album as well. We decided, okay, it's the perfect occasion to do a live session in our rehearsal room. So we checked with Yannick. No, not with Yannick. With Michael. Okay. Another guy. Yannick is for the next session. Sorry. We checked with a friend of ours. We put some lights in the rehearsal room. We recorded, and we made it like a live concert for all the people that were not able to attend a live show. And it worked pretty well. We received message from all around the world. It was actually the first album that we released that had an impact internationally. Then the COVID took longer, and we recorded 2 more albums, DSM-3 and Dreaming in Dystopia, the one that we just released now. And Stavros will explain you the difference between the two, like the steps, how they came to life.
Yeah, Live Alert is an album where we had to play live, so we couldn't. So we reached, as Marco explained, the live session in our rehearsal room. So that was something necessary to do, in order to keep on, not lose faith. And after that, we had to express our frustration because the pandemic was getting longer and longer and longer. So we recorded DSM-3 that is full of rage and full of energy that had to explode, And now listening to it now, I'm like, we were crazy back then. The music we did there, it's like mental, right? It's also, a book about psychology, all the psychic illnesses that it's called DSM-3. And that was the expression on that album. And right after that, we could see the light. So we recorded Dreaming Dystopia because we were like, as long as we have music, we have hope. And this is a message for anybody on earth. And that's the meaning of Dreaming Dystopia. It's the album that's reaching towards the light after expressing frustration, right after we recorded an album of hope. So it's interesting to have this contrast between both albums. And we've released actually all this pretty recently. So the pandemic time that for a lot of bands was like a break in the career. For us, it was the occasion to sit down and okay, let's record music. Let's think about where we want to be in a few years. Let's think about how we're going to put the music in front of the audience. And ever since then, we booked tours and we've been much smarter about everything. So for us, it was time to reflect on what we were doing the last few years. And ever since, we've taken the right decisions, I believe. So pandemic was something inspiring. I think in the worst moments in history, of human history, there's always good coming out. So that can be a message of hope for anyone that is facing difficult problems, wherever in the world.
Okay, that's pretty good to know that because in pandemic, everybody was frustrated. Everybody, business stopped, music stops, and we are closed. And that's pretty good that knowing that you have the chance to push your music up and bring us light to our sad lives. So, okay, come on, wait a minute. I can read with all my glasses. Stop. So, Maxime, I got a question for you. Speaking about the band's trajectory, do you consider that you still, the band, the same basis here as when you started as a band?
Yeah, we start pretty young, as Stavros say, and we had some different setup with different singer. But at the end, we are pretty happy to be just the three of us, and it's the perfect combo for live shows. And I love Power Trio, you know,
Yeah.
and yeah, cool.
I love Power Trio.
Cool.
How do you do that?
It's like Satan fingers or Ronnie James Dio fingers.
Okay, how do you do God?
God? I don't know. Just like rock on, yeah. The sign of rock on. A metal guy's stuff. I don't know. So, as a band, which are your biggest influences in music? What bands are your biggest influences?
I think we have a lot of influences. We've been listening to so many music through the years, and music has played a very important role in our development. Now, for instance, for myself, the day I heard Led Zeppelin, it really changed my life. You know, it was like something happened. It was like, you know, some people have spiritual awakenings, right? They know the moment where they can exactly tell when they had a spiritual awakening. Mine was that. I heard Led Zeppelin, I was like, wow. From this moment on, the day after, I took a guitar, started playing, listening to hundreds of albums. And I can tell you names: Led Zeppelin, Jethro Tull, The Doors, Beatles, Rolling Stones, Black Sabbath, Pink Floyd, King Crimson, all these great bands. You know, you will notice that it's all bands from 60s, 70s for one reason. It's because back then there was a sound that I like a lot, which is still analog. And then there is also a conception about music. There's a freedom in expression that really touched me back then. And ever since, of course, there's modern bands, more modern bands like, later 90s, I'd say Red Hot Chili Peppers, for example, Nirvana. In the 2000s, there is Queens of the Stone Age that made amazing music, right? And nowadays there's King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard. So there is always rock bands that make interesting music, and we got influenced by them also later. And also different bands, also different genres of music. For instance, for me, world music. When we come to Mexico, we want to hear the local music, because that's also influenced, because that's the beauty also of music, is that locally you've got, on every place on earth, you've got different genres of music. And I think with rock music, we can take inspiration from that and make rock music way more interesting, way more broader. So, for instance, Maxime is Swiss, Marco is Italian, I'm Greek and Hungarian. Why should we play the American blues like they do? We can take inspiration in our own roots. And I think that's maybe the right way for rock music nowadays to go forward.
What about you, Marco? What band brings you here tonight?
Well, Stavros introduced us to many of the bands he just said. Jimi Hendrix, of course. Jimi Hendrix, of course. Since I'm a little child, Jimi Hendrix. My father introduced me to this kind of bands from the 60s, 70s. For me, I would add to all the bands that Stavros just mentioned. I would add Miles Davis and all the great music that is where there is improvisation and there is a shamanic aspect of letting go, you know, through the jamming, through structured jamming, you can reach like other level of consciousness. This kind of stuff inspires me a lot. Yeah, Miles Davis, Herbie Hancock. There are many. Yeah, I would cite them, and I would say as well. Some classical music as well, more contemporary music. Yeah, this kind of stuff.
Okay.
I would just like. I'm sorry, Frank Zappa. I forgot you. I'm so sorry. I love you. I'm sorry, Frank. You know, I love you very much. You know, and I know you're laughing up there, right?
Yeah. Okay, Maxime, I want to ask you something very special. I saw you there in the sound check. You're drumming as a fucking beast, man.
We call him the beast.
So you're the beast of the band. Now tell me, you are the bestia of the band. Okay. So tell me, Maxime, what drummers are your influence?
Yes, I have one in my skin. It's John Bonham for sure. Yes. Yeah, it's like the master.
Can we see your tattoo?
Yeah, I think you can see this one. Yes, it's John Bonham here.
Always looking at him, right?
He helped me for my right hand.
Like your teacher watching you.
Yeah. But yeah, every drummers from the 60s, 70s are great. I'm a big fan of Mitch Mitchell too. And yeah, this monster of 70s. But yeah, there is a few new ones you can see on internet. But I will say, what is his name? I don't remember. Sorry.
Jet lag.
Jet lag. Yes, jet lag. If it come in my head, I tell us. Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys. Okay.
Jan Rubin. Yes. The drummer of Nine Inch Nails. Jan Rubin is a good influence for me. Yeah. You can see he's like a beast too.
Yeah. But not as beast as you. You're a great drummer, let me tell you.
La bestia. The beast. The beast. Mr. Maxime. Henry. Cazorte, come on.
So, I can't see with all my glasses. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, your music, as Dirty Son managed, is a mix of genres. If you have to choose a genre to identify you, which one will be?
You know, when we first started marketing our music, we were like, you know, every band has to ask themselves the question, what do we play? And everybody says we play a mix of things. And it's, you know, that's how it is. We found the name creative rock. And I think it represents well. It means having no limit, right? It can be no limit rock, creative rock. But then we found out you have to go back to the boring things because people have to understand what you're doing. So I would say we are doing actually a mixture between psychedelic rock, progressive rock, and blues rock, right? And with a touch of funk and maybe some jazzy vibes. Yeah. Funky, of course, yeah. So I think it's a mix of that, and I call it creative rock.
Creative rock.
Yeah.
That's great. So, can I have the microphone, please? Thank you. How the band developing outside your country, Switzerland, do you notice any difference when you play concerts in your country than other parts of the world, like America, Mexico? What difference do you see in these different places?
I think due to all the cultural differences in every country, it's different. And that's very, very cool to notice this kind of difference. If you play the same set we are going to play tonight in Leon in front of people from the Netherlands or Belgium or Germany or Spain or New York. We played in New York a few weeks ago. The reaction can be very different, you know. But the cool thing is we managed to make them sing, the public, to make the public sing every night, everywhere. So there are still some connection that we can find, yes. And it was for us a necessity to go outside Switzerland because Switzerland is very small. It's a country where there are only 8 million people. So for you guys in Mexico, I mean, that's a town. Yes, that's... Yeah, yes. 8 million people in Leon? Really? No.
I'm not
No, I don't think so. No, that's a lot. Yeah, 8 million. But still, yeah. But still, Switzerland is very small, so there is not a lot of public for the kind of music we play. You know, so it was a necessity for us to go outside and try to reach new people. We have Germany just a few hours away with the car. So we, at a certain point, we decided, okay, let's go. Let's try to find a concert here, to go there and meet new people, travel across countries. It was a good decision for our kind of music to go and find our public. Yes.
Actually, there is one very good example for this question. When we play in Scotland, there is Glasgow and Edinburgh. It's next to each other. It's very close. But the cultural difference can be noticed in just these two cities. In Glasgow, the audience will react like a stadium. They will go wild, like, you know, like wild, 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 wild. Sing like a football game, right? Yeah, exactly, crazy. And then Edinburgh, they will listen. They will be like more like paying attention to every detail. No? No? And I like both. I like both because sometimes you can play a very nice, very precise show and very deep show for people who really listen. And then you can have a party show. So these differences, it's actually what makes life on tour so exciting. Yeah. And I would say the Mexican people are a mix of both. They can sometimes listen and they can sometimes jump around. So that's cool.
Let's see how it's going to be tonight. Okay, guys, you telling us that you are touring around the world. And I want to ask you, I think it's a very important question. What's the hardest part of being far away from your country, from your house? What's the hardest part for you, Maxime, to be the drummer? You carry the drums like in your back. Oh! Is this hard for you, or what's the hardest part for you as a band to be outside of your country?
If you do the balance, it's just great to be on tour. Yeah, yeah. It's maybe hard to didn't see your family if you are close to for a long time, but it's nice to have some call. But yeah, now we can stay in contact and. Yeah, maybe with girlfriend is complicated, but yeah, yes.
Okay, yeah, your girlfriend is your right? You have a girlfriend too. Is that hard for you to leave your girlfriend there?
I think it's harder for her than for me. But yes, it's. I mean, it's for me. It has ever. Music has always been something very important in my life, and. It was from the beginning something we defined that this is something I have to do, you know, go on tour because that's what I love. I love being on tour. Sometimes it can be very hard, like you don't sleep, then you have to travel a long distance, then you arrive and there are some problems at the venue and the sound, it hurts your ear. Physically you are hurt, you know, you have to carry stuff as you said before, you get sick, you get deaf. You get blind. You go blind as well. So all your body is gonna suffer, but still, it's something. It's like a drug.
As long as we have the freedom.
Yes. It's a drug. It's a drug, really. The harder it gets, the more you want it. That's it. I will resume it that way. Yes.
Sure. What about you? What's the hardest part of being far away from your family?
It's getting home.
Is that hard for you?
Yeah, it's not being on tour anymore.
Be outside doing this stuff.
There is the what we call the post-tour trauma. You know, everything goes very fast when you're on tour, and so many things happen. And then when you go home, all of a sudden your life's empty. You know, because you actually had to give up so much at home. So of course I've had my parents, but so many of the friends and social relations I had, I can connect with them on a daily basis. So it becomes harder to be close to these people. So when you go home and you have no job because your job is music, then you feel maybe like something empty and everything is slow. On tour, everything is fast. We meet so many people, so many friends, everything is, you know, there's always something happening. So, I think that's the hardest part for me is getting home. I like also being home, right? And I like being close to my parents and to my friends and stuff. But yeah, there is something lacking. But there's one thing I like when we go home is being in the studio, because when we are for a very long time in the tour, then I want to be in the rehearsal room and then I want to record music. So the balance is good.
Okay, it's good to know that. You make me think, guys, but that's another time. So I want to ask you another thing. How do you replicate your studio sound in a live concert? Do you use the same gear, the same guitar pedal, the same bass, the same cymbals? Is the same gear that you use in the studio that in a live concert?
You can all answer. But I think the goal is not to replicate the exact sound. You know, some bands, they want to play very close to the album. And I think we want to change the music, and the music changes naturally. And then the gear, we just try to make it functional, right? And replicate what we like, right? And the rest can evolve.
I would say it's the other way around. We have our sound that we crafted throughout the years. And we just try to, when we do an album, we try to record that sound. So the live version is the authentic version. And it's very hard in a studio to really get the authenticity of the sound you have created in your mind and with your gear, because a lot of parameter can be involved in this process. So I would say it's the other way around. It's the live is us. Yes, really. And that's what someone can expect when they come to our show.
What about you?
Yeah, for this tour, Mexican tour, we haven't our gear. We share the gear with Little Swine, the band who play before us. And in Europe, we tour every time with our van, and we have all of our gear the same as we record, and that's same sound. I think the other band should do the sound check. Or what do you think, Johnny?
They're gonna go to hell because I'm talking with you guys. No, we almost finished. Just one last question for you. I think it's an important question. You are one of the latest or ultimate real instrument rock band. You're still using real guitars, real basses, real drums. What do you think about the new ways, actually, of doing music with computers, with plugins, with Pro Tools, gadgets?
I like this question.
Okay.
This is a very interesting question. It's kind of also moral journey, you know, we are doing. It's like we are trying, we have an ideal, aesthetic ideal, and also a great passion for something that's live, right? Because we felt so many emotions through music that was expressed by humans. And it's true that nowadays, everything is corrected, everything is auto-tuned, everything is cut, everything is replaced. And when you listen to the radio, we heard quite a lot of radio the last few days because we've been traveling by Uber. I'm like, music that's been playing live on the radio, I haven't heard any. Maybe the traditional Mexican music, but most of it, 95% or even more of commercial music, nowadays it's computer generated. And I'm not saying this shouldn't exist. I just think that there is nothing that will replace live music and music played by humans, right? And I'm so sad that the new generation, they don't know it. They don't know it because they only heard the processed music, right? So for them, a natural vocal is a processed vocal. Yeah. So they don't have access to it, and that's what I'm sad about. Is that there isn't enough contrast in what we can hear on a daily basis on radio or the popular music. So it's like we are like doing the crusade of music in a very peaceful way. But we are bringing the music, the way we see it, the way we loved it when we listened to it, to people, and giving the chance to people to discover these possibilities offered by live music. So it's very important to our hearts to give people the opportunity to access this type of music.
I think.
Okay, cool.
It's our fight, yeah. Be on stage with our instrument and stay like that. It's our fight, yeah.
anything else you want to add to this little interview? What would you want to tell to Mexican crowd?
We are very happy to be here. México nos encanta muchos y vamos a tocar al máximo esta noche.
And Johnny, it was your first interview. I think you are a great interviewer.
Thank you. I am so fucking nervous.
No, you're great. Continue like that, please.
Got a job offer for you. I actually work at BBC. Can you go tomorrow to London? You go to the office. You say Stavros said I have to work here. Yeah, trust me. Go there. They're waiting for you.
Just let me call to my boss and I tell her that I quit for your fucking job, bitch. No, okay, it's a joke. I see you tomorrow at the office. Stop that. I will meet you tomorrow. So thank you very much, guys. It's amazing to meet you here. I'm so glad to know you. You're a great rock and roll band. You're a great human beings. So thank you very much for considering me this little interview. Hope you have a great show here in El Callejón. And so, one last thing I want to ask you. Just one thing. Can you say with all your heart, with all your passion, Viva Mexico, cabrones?
Viva Mexico, cabrones!
There's this on magnet! Yeah!
Sound check, and go. Little Swan.